Yes, thank you. So, hello students, I am here Amrit Pal Singh once again to teach you economics. So, further we are going to derive our chapter of macroeconomics and introductory part. So, let's take a little quick recall what we were discussing in our previous video. We were discussing macroeconomics and introduction, and we were at classification of goods. We were having four types of goods: final goods, which are further categorized in final producer goods, final consumer goods, then intermediate goods, then capital goods, consumer goods, then capital goods. So now pause the video and note it down. Yes, moving further. Now we are going to discuss what are final goods. So final goods are those goods which have crossed the boundary line of production. What is the meaning of boundary line of production? It simply means that all the production activities has been over and the final goods are ready to consume or ready to use. For example, we are having a pen. There is no other production activities to be done on a pen. So pen will be regarded as a final good. And final goods are further then classified as final consumer goods, we have written, and final producer goods. And what are final consumer goods? Final consumer, these are those goods which are finally purchased by the consumer for the satisfaction of their wants. Example: bread, butter, pen, coffee, etc. What does it mean? Means we are the final consumer. We finally buy a thing, we finally buy a commodity in order to satisfy our want, in order to satisfy our need. This is called, these goods are called final consumer goods, which are ready to consume, which are ready to be utilized. Now again pause the video and note it down. Yes, so now the next category we have final producer goods. So these are those goods which are finally purchased by the producers and are generally used as the fixed assets of production. So these words, fixed assets of production, you might have heard these words several times while doing the work of accountancy. So fixed assets are those assets which are meant for production. For example, plant and machinery. So while establishing a new firm or a new factory, a person, a producer, plants a machinery or buys a tractor by a farmer. So that investment made by them on the purchasing of plant and machinery or tractors is called these are final producer goods. And next one we are having expenditure made on final consumer goods is called consumption expenditure. What does it mean? For example, there may be a 1 mark question that what do you mean by consumption expenditure? So it is that expenditure where expenditure made on final consumer goods. Or what is called when we made expenditure on final consumer goods? The answer will be consumption expenditure. Means when a consumer is spending his income to satisfy their want, and that expenditure will be called as consumption expenditure. And expenditure made on final producer goods is called investment expenditure. Means, for example, when we are setting up or building up a new factory, a new firm, and whatsoever the machinery we are planting in that will not be called consumption expenditure. That expenditure will be called as investment expenditure. You might have listened this word several times in your life, that he made an investment of 10 crore, he made an investment of 1 crore, he made an investment of 50 lakh. So that 50 lakh comes in many categories, but the majority part, fixed assets, are regarded as investment expenditure. And students, please again note down all the concept, pause the video once again and note down all the concepts. So now we are having an equation, means expenditure made on final goods is equal to consumption expenditure plus investment expenditure. So we have read a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, that consumption expenditure is that expenditure made on the purchase of final consumer goods, and investment expenditure is the expenditure made on the purchase of final producer goods. So in a combined form, I am writing this in this manner, but while writing it on your notebook, you have to be phrase it into a one line, not this, because it's a blackboard and we are not having enough space. So expenditure made on final goods is equal to consumption expenditure plus investment expenditure. This is the equation, and now we are just wind upping the video by writing only this, and the next work material will be made on in our next video. So the types of consumer goods we have, these are also called consumption goods, but here I am writing only types of consumer goods. You can write down, we have 4 types. Durable goods, we will be studying in our next video what are durable goods. Semi-durable goods, what are semi-durable goods? These are very easy concepts and one mark question for your board examination. Non-durable goods, what are non-durable goods and services? In our previous video you have learnt about what are services. These are intangible assets, intangible things which we cannot see, which we cannot touch, which we cannot store, but which have power to satisfy human wants, like teaching, banking, etc. we have done in our previous video. So now we are just closing or wind upping our video by this session, and what we have done till now, let's take a little quick recall. Today we have done classification of goods, final goods. These are of 2 types: final producer goods, final consumer goods. Expenditure made on final producer good is investment expenditure. Expenditure made on final producer goods is investment expenditure. Expenditure made on final consumer goods is yes, think of yourself, is consumption expenditure. This is the equation and these are the 4 types. So we will be meeting on next video. Thank you.